I've been waiting my whole life for this one. Orthopedic surgeon and husband for The View host, Sonny Hostin, has been named in a federal lawsuit alleging insurance fraud. She got on television. She got in. She run these women. Tell me why she got her husband is named in a lawsuit in insurance fraud, and I'm gonna show you exhibit. Let me say exhibit B. Can you show this to the jury?
Sonny Hostin is facing serious heat, and not the kind you escape with a vacation. We're talking financial chaos level heat. Reports are swirling that she's teetering on the edge of bankruptcy. But wait, it gets even messier. Her husband allegedly caught up in a jaw-dropping $450 million RICO case. Yep, you heard that right. From TV star to Scandal Central, this story's taking a wild turn. How did things spiral so fast for this so-called power couple? Buckle up because the drama is just getting started. And what's coming next will leave you stunned.
Yeah, you're married. Tom, you're married. If your husband's doing something, if he's allegedly doing something like this, you guys would know if your wives were up to some nefarious stuff. But let's just not forget who she is. She's been, for years, lecturing America about morality, inequality, systemic failures. And look at her track record. How many times does she have to go on in the past 2 months and look at the camera and do a legal apology for all the stuff that she said on the show? And then she also, on Trump's win, calling the loss because of uneducated white women that Trump won.
We have to know that. This is accused.
All accused. Yeah, all accused. But he's in the RICO. This is a big RICO case that her husband's in there.
Sonny Hostin may be used to stirring drama on The View, but this time the chaos is hitting a little too close to home. Her husband, the orthopedic surgeon, is now at the center of a massive $450 million fraud case. And with bankruptcy looming, this scandal could make her TV debates look like child's play.
Orthopedic surgeon and husband of The View co-host Sonny Hostin is accused in December. Lawsuit fraudulently billing insurance. By the way, this is a Daily Caller story I'm reading. The lawsuit alleges Hostin knowingly provided fraudulent medical and other healthcare services in exchange for kickbacks and or compensation, and names him among nearly 200 defendants in one of New York's largest RICO cases. Wow. Hostin's attorney, Daniel Twites, denies the allegations, calling the lawsuit a meritless attempt by a near-bankrupt insurance carrier to intimidate doctors and restrict healthcare benefits. The case involves claims that Hostin performs unnecessary surgeries on patients after minor accidents without exploring less invasive treatments, with American Transit citing New York's 1974 no-fault law as contributing to widespread insurance fraud.
Imagine waking up to find your husband at the center of a $450 million insurance fraud case. Not a hospital mix-up, a full-blown RICO lawsuit. And if you've spent years preaching from a moral high horse on The View, well, that horse just galloped straight into a wall of scandal and debt. Talk about irony.
The View co-host Sonny Hostin's husband, Emmanuel Hostin, has been accused of federal insurance fraud. According to a new lawsuit obtained by Page Six, the orthopedic surgeon was one of 200 defendants named in one of the biggest racketeer influence and corrupt organization cases ever filed in New York. Emmanuel was accused of federal insurance fraud and, quote, getting kickbacks by performing surgery and billing a company that insured taxi companies and Uber and Lyft drivers. According to the documents, he knowingly provided fraudulent medical and other healthcare services, including arthroscopic surgeries.
Here's the deal. Dr. Host is accused of cashing in on kickbacks for surgeries that may not have even been necessary. Think knees, shoulders, whatever brings in the big bucks. Meanwhile, insurance companies were left picking up the tab for operations that might have only existed on paper. It's less about healing joints and more about padding wallets. Oh, you thought I was fixing your knee? No, I was just inflating my bank account.
You always say it's always the people that always do the pointing, and it always comes back to them, all right? So when you said this is the largest RICO case ever filed in the state of New York, you guys wrap that around your brain. That's bigger than the mafia case. Like the mafia one was number one. This one takes it over. So he was scamming insurance companies from taxi drivers, Uber drivers, and Lyft drivers. He was performing unnecessary surgeries and then providing fraudulent medical services in exchange for the kickbacks.
And just when you thought it couldn't get messier, surprise, it does. While Dr. Host is allegedly cashing in from shady surgeries, Sonny's stuck on the sidelines, trying to keep her polished View persona from cracking. You'd expect a seasoned commentator to know how to handle a scandal, right? Apparently not. Her strategy so far? Say nothing. Look shocked later. It's like she's rehearsing her reaction for when the headlines finally explode. But come on. If Sunny really believed this whole situation would stay a private family affair, she's in for a rude awakening. When your husband's name pops up in what could be one of New York's biggest RICO cases, there's no hiding behind vague statements and silent treatment. No amount of on-air poise is going to erase this mess. Let's take a step back and really look at the absurdity of it all. In a world overflowing with political drama, we're now watching a soap opera starring insurance fraud, unnecessary surgeries, and a husband allegedly running a black market OR. You couldn't script this kind of madness if you tried.
Guys, this is why we need to seriously have a long, lengthy conversation about healthcare in the United States of America. This is basically it. So Sunny Hostin's husband was basically charged with insurance fraud. What he was doing was doing like fraudulent surgeries and then overcharging the insurance companies for them. This is what this is. So now, of course, he's now being named along with about 200 other individuals in a federal RICO charge case, guys.
Forget The Godfather. This is Grey's Anatomy if the surgeons ran an underground mob. Sure, it's easy to go after insurance companies. They're not exactly saints. Try getting a critical procedure approved, and you'll be lucky to get more than a rejection letter and a pat on the back. But in this saga, the insurers aren't the villains. They're the ones being duped by doctors chasing dollar signs over patient health. It's almost laughable, really. And of course, it wouldn't be a true Sunny Hostin saga without The View sneaking into the picture. The irony is thick enough to cut with a scalpel. Sunny, who's made a career out of grilling public figures and preaching justice, is now in the hot seat, facing the kind of scrutiny she usually dishes out. Her husband is just one of nearly 200 people named in a massive fraud case, accused of scamming insurers out of millions. That's money that could have gone to real care, real patients, not into lining pockets.
I've been waiting my whole life for this one. Orthopedic surgeon and husband for The View host Sunny Hostin has been named in a federal lawsuit alleging insurance fraud. She got on television. She run these women. Tell me why her husband is named in a lawsuit in insurance fraud. And I'm gonna show you exhibit. Let me say exhibit B. Can you show this to the jury? Roll it, Nick.
You know, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband.
But Sunny, she's staying suspiciously quiet, sidestepping the chaos like she's not knee-deep in it already. You know the saying, when it rains, it pours? Well, this isn't a drizzle. It's a full-on storm of scandal. While she lounges in her Lux chair on The View, sipping her coffee and critiquing the world, her husband is allegedly orchestrating a scheme straight out of a crime series, milking insurance companies, pushing questionable surgeries, and pocketing payouts that would make even a seasoned con artist envious. And let's not kid ourselves. This doesn't just reek of trouble, it practically screams class action. And no, this isn't just about Dr. Host. That would be too simple. This lawsuit is a tangled mess, wrapped around other physicians, entire clinics, even hospitals. It's like someone handed the mob a scalpel and said, "Welcome to healthcare." According to American Transit Insurance, they were bled dry, paying out millions for operations that were either never done or totally pointless. And now, they want it all back. And somehow, it only gets messier from here.
Extra, last week, we learned that Sunny's husband, Dr. Emmanuel Hostin, was named in a lawsuit filed by American Transit Insurance Company. He's one of 200 people named in this lawsuit, and they are accusing him of filing fraudulent insurance claims and also getting kickbacks from them. And it's a very serious crime. In fact, it's one of the largest, if not the largest, RICO case in New York's history, and they're seeking $450 million. And Sunny and her husband, they are fighting back. They've hired legal eagle Mark Garagos to help them fight this case, and they're claiming that this is completely baseless.
According to reports, Dr. Host's lawyer isn't backing down, calling the lawsuit a desperate ploy by a failing company. Classic deflection. When the heat's on, blame the accuser. Oh, you think my client committed fraud? Maybe you're the real crook. It's a play straight out of the legal drama handbook, and honestly, kind of entertaining to watch unfold. Meanwhile, Sunny has gone strangely quiet. For someone known for throwing verbal punches on The View, especially at politicians and internet trolls alike, her silence now is deafening. Is she trying to play the "this has nothing to do with me" card? Or just hoping the headlines skip over her name before the fallout scorches her public image? Either way, it's hard not to see the irony. It feels like a soap opera character pretending nothing's wrong, except instead of a secret affair, it's an alleged surgical fraud ring. You can almost hear the dramatic music as the scandal builds toward its inevitable, messy climax.
Anna went in a different direction. But I love the fact that, Manny is younger and he's
How much younger is he?
Just a little bit.
He's like 1 year, isn't he? Like a month or a year or 10 years?
5 years. It's more than a year.
Oh.
Anyway, it's not about me. I think.
Oh, no?
I think that it's very helpful that he's handy, and when we travel, I'm not picking up any bags. He's the one that's hefting them overhead. He
Exactly.
throws the garbage out.
Right.
He does the heavy stuff.
Let's be honest. This isn't just some minor scandal. It's a billion-dollar mess and possibly one of the biggest medical fraud cases in recent history. Dr. Host might be the headline name, but he's far from alone. This lawsuit pulls in a whole web of doctors, hospitals, insurance companies, and even unsuspecting patients caught in the middle. It's like a heist movie, but instead of robbing banks, they were draining health insurance payouts. At the heart of it all is a healthcare system that seems more interested in profit than people. If the allegations are true, this case exposes just how warped the priorities have become. Patient care? That's taken a back seat to cash flow. And if Sunny Hostin is okay living in that world, well, there's a bridge in Brooklyn we'd love to sell her. But let's not pretend it's all on the doctors. The insurance companies? Hardly innocent. They're known for denying legitimate claims while jacking up premiums. So what do we have? A broken system where doctors allegedly exploit it, insurers manipulate it, and patients, just trying to get better, end up paying the price.
Giuliani shook the tree and a bunch of mobsters fell out, right? This is big stuff. And so, and thank you for bringing that video. It sure is ironic that she's up there. So, but if she didn't really know what was going on, right, which is what she's probably going to say later, I had no idea what my husband and his associates were doing. We'll wait and see what that is. But I think it's pretty freaking ironic.
Yeah. I have a totally different perspective on this. I don't really know what happened with this. The facts will come out. What I have a problem with is the core of who this woman is. Unlike you, I don't watch The View, bro. All I do is see clips.
I know you. It's like twice a day.
Here's all I hear from her. America's violent. America's racist. America's bad. Okay. I challenge you, Sonny. And this is Constantine Kissin actually was saying something about this. Find me a country that's not racist.
As for Sunny, she might want to start practicing a new opening line for The View. You know, folks, healthcare is a mess, and apparently, so is my personal life. Because let's not sugarcoat this. When your husband is allegedly at the center of a sprawling insurance fraud scheme involving kickbacks, unnecessary surgeries, and racketeering charges, the days of avoiding the spotlight are numbered. Right now, Sunny Hostin is playing the role of someone who's above the fray, sticking to her commentary chair, sticking to her talking points, and sticking to silence. But that polished veneer only works for so long. The court of public opinion has a long memory, and her silence is starting to sound a lot more like complicity, or at least strategic avoidance. The same woman who holds politicians and celebrities accountable on national television is now sipping her coffee and letting the scandal unfold like it's someone else's drama. Let's be clear. Dr. Host, her husband, hasn't been convicted of anything yet. These are allegations, not verdicts. But they are serious, and they're not going away anytime soon. The lawsuit paints a picture of a vast web of corruption involving over 180 defendants, doctors, hospitals, entire medical practices allegedly working together to exploit the health insurance system. The accusations: surgeries billed but never performed, procedures that were medically unnecessary but profitable, kickbacks flying under the radar, and millions upon millions of dollars funneled through what looks less like a medical network and more like a well-oiled criminal enterprise. And where does that leave Sunny? Caught in the crossfire between public perception and private scandal. She's built a career as a fearless commentator, a legal mind, and a voice for justice. But when the call is coming from inside the house, when the allegations are tied not to a distant figure but to her own family, the silence speaks volumes. The question becomes, can someone be the moral compass of daytime television while ignoring the compass spinning wildly in their own home? If Sunny thought this would stay in the realm of a private family matter, she's mistaken. This isn't some messy divorce or a social media spat. This is one of the largest alleged cases of medical fraud in recent memory. It's a billion-dollar scandal with implications that go far beyond her marriage. We're talking about the systemic failure of a healthcare system that rewards profit over patient care. Doctors allegedly profiting off the pain, or imaginary pain, of patients. Insurance companies footing bills for ghost surgeries while real patients struggle to get approval for life-saving care. It's dystopian, and yet it's happening now. Of course, we can't pretend the insurance companies are blameless here. They've built entire empires on denial letters and fine print. But in this particular lawsuit, they're the ones crying foul, claiming they were swindled, scammed, and used like ATMs by unscrupulous medical professionals. The irony is thick. Normally the villains of every healthcare horror story, now they're the alleged victims of a doctor's greed. You really can't make this stuff up. Meanwhile, back on The View, Sunny continues to maintain the public image, poised, unbothered, and untouchable. But that act can only last so long. At some point, the questions will get louder, the whispers will become headlines, and Sunny will have to decide, does she address the elephant in the room, or keep pretending it's just another coffee table? As the case unfolds, the tension builds. Each week brings a new twist. Another name, another allegation, another courtroom maneuver. One day, Dr. Host might look like he's dodged a bullet. The next, he's back in the spotlight for an even deeper involvement. It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion. You can't look away. And the public? They're watching. Closely. Waiting to see whether this ends in redemption or ruin. So, what's next for Sunny and Dr. Host? Will he walk free, reputation bruised but intact? Or will this spiral into a legal and financial downfall that affects not just him, but everyone around him? Will Sunny be forced to confront the scandal on air, or continue to keep her distance and hope the news cycle moves on? Either way, the drama's just getting started. This isn't just a scandal. It's the real-life version of The Bold and the Beautiful, but with more knee surgeries and fewer love triangles. And like any good soap opera, it's got one thing going for it. No matter how unbelievable the plot gets, it's still rooted in reality. Because when it comes to scandal in America, truth really is stranger than fiction.